How's it going? It's Nasty T, and this is another episode of the Optimal Class Series. Today we're going to be talking about the M27 LMG. This gun is very good. It's very popular in public matches for a few reasons. And so we're going to get into the strengths, the weaknesses, and then the optimal class build for this weapon. First, let's get into the strengths. This gun obviously has a larger clip because it's the LMG, has a clip of 100 shots. Another strength, great range, so I have the suppressor on without losing too much damage, and a very good fire rate for a light machine gun. This is the best light machine gun in Call of Duty Ghosts, one of the better light machine guns probably in Call of Duty history, so this gun is very strong. A lot of people use it. This is not a secret. In terms of weakness, I mean, there aren't a lot of weaknesses to this weapon. Yeah, you don't ADS very quickly because it is a light machine gun, but that more comes with the type of weapon it is other than this specific weapon. I'm reaching for other weaknesses. There's a reason this gun's so popular in public. It's just very good. You can even use it in competitive play. Yeah, there isn't really a weakness to it because up close it still has a good RPM. I don't know who the guy was that designed this gun. I don't know how he got it past the people that balanced the game, but they really didn't mess with it too much, apparently, after he made it super OP, so that's good for him. That guy's probably getting a raise because people really like this weapon a lot. So yeah, not really any weaknesses. I'm going to stop reaching, but like I said, good RPM, good range. You can put a silencer on it, and it really doesn't hurt you at all because the solid range and the RPM to back it up. So even when your bullets are doing lesser damage, you're putting more of them out at long range. So this gun is just good in every scenario. The only time you're ever at a weakness is that when you're sprinting at someone and you turn a corner and they can pull up their submachine gun, they can pull up their MTAR quicker. That's the only time you're really gonna lose in a 1v1 battle where you see the guy and he sees you and it's just a split second. That's the only time you're really gonna use. If you play smart, if you play conservative, if you play the way you're supposed to play in Call of Duty Ghosts, you will dominate. I know people don't like it sometimes. Some people complain and call it campy. But if you have a giant, heavy gun that you can't move around with quickly with a giant clip, I don't know what you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to camp with it. So let's get into the class breakdown. Thermal scope silencer. This is kind of the go-to in public matches. You see this all the time. You pick up this weapon all the time. Normally, in the Optimal Class Series, I like to do something different. I like to try out different attachments, perks, and find a weird combination not a lot of people use and be like, hey, look, I found this. It works better than you could ever have imagined. But this is one where the community pretty much got it right. This is an outstanding class. The thermal scope's great. Like I said, good RPM and range, so the silencer you can totally use. For perks, I like sleight of hand. Because I do have that silencer at longer ranges, I like spraying out those bullets and reloading a little bit quicker. Ready up just because it makes you react a little bit quicker. I do have an IED because you are going to play conservative. You're going to camp a little bit with this weapon depending on the situation, depending on your teammates and the objective. So you just want to be ready for a lot of different scenarios. I have the perk for an extra lethal on. Focus because you have that on every class. It stops your gun from kicking up. And here's the big one, Stalker. This perk is so good. Whenever I don't have this perk on, I'm wondering why I'm not using it. It's so good it's banned in competitive play. Basically what it makes you do is when you aim down sights, you move quicker. So what most people will say that are good at the game, or if you go to another video, they'll say, well, if you aim down sight, pre-aim down sight before you turn a corner, you'll be better prepared for situations. If you aim down sight while you're looking out a window, you'll have the drop on someone that sprints around a corner, has to stop sprinting, then ADS, then shoot at you, and that's all very true. So when you have Stalker, you can do that more often because you're moving quicker. You won't get lazy. You won't be like, okay, this is the 8th corner I've taken and I haven't seen anyone. I'm just going to sprint around it. That doesn't happen because you're moving so much quicker. And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing in Call of Duty. People get numb, they die, they run back out, they die, they run back out, and they get numb because they either aren't doing well or they're getting bored or the action isn't enough for them. So this perk really helps that. Stops you from getting numb. It stops you from dying 5 straight times because let's face it, sprinting with an LMG just frankly isn't worth it. You don't run that fast. When you are aimed down sight with Stalker, you go basically as fast as walking, and when you sprint with this gun, you really don't notice it. You're just really unprepared for someone to turn a corner. So you're going to use Stalker. That's going to help a lot. Thermal scope, you're going to see really long distances. Another thing for this gun, I like to have teammates in my scope sight. When I can see teammates, I know I'm doing a good job. You're going to see I was just laying down there for a second. For a lot of this match, it's 6-on-3, my team only having the 3. We try to keep it close. We're only down by 20 points here. We eventually lose. We have some teammates drop in and out, but this is a prime example why I wanted to show this specific gameplay. This is a very good support weapon. Kind of why Call of Duty put LMGs in their game was to, okay, you have a big clip, you can't move very quickly, you're going to pick up a lot of assists, you're going to help your teammates by just shooting someone once, and they can shoot them 2 more times, they can kill them that much quicker. If your teammate's unprepared, you can help by taking someone out that maybe they don't see, maybe on their left or right, by staying out of the action. So when I see people in my scope sight on my team, I know I'm doing a good job, because if there's an enemy even behind them, they have me firing at them already pre-aimed, and they have my teammate having to deal with, okay, what does my teammate have? Does he have a submachine gun? Can he pull it up? Because he could win that battle one-on-one, definitely, but it's maybe 50-50. But if I'm back there helping, my team is going to win that battle a large, portion of the time. So this is a great support weapon, and a lot of the LMGs in Call of Duty history don't play like this. Some of them are a little more aggressive, or some of them are, used for different things, but this is a very good support weapon. I'd say it's more powerful than just an average support weapon, but it's great when used for that. But yeah, like I said, I went over the strengths and weaknesses. A lot of strengths, not a lot of weaknesses. Great support weapon, can play objectives really well. On top of that, I haven't really talked about the huge clip. When you have this 100-round clip and a good RPM, you are a legit threat for double kills. So there's a lot of good things about this weapon. That's pretty much going to wrap up the optimal class here. Oh, I didn't get to the kill streaks. I really like to have the Griffin on because I do play a little more conservative. Sometimes I can get 1 or 2 IED kills in a life, and I can get that Griffin, the 10 kill streak, probably overall the most efficient kill streak for the work you're getting and the kills you get out of it. I have Sentry Gun on in Dog. One, I just love Sentry Gun. In Dog, it helps when there's people around you. It can sniff them out and get them sometimes. You could put IMS on. I would definitely say the kill streaks are up to you. I would recommend the Griffin and maybe 2 more. You could have a SATCOM really go for that support for your team, but whatever you want there is totally fine. That's going to wrap up the M27 LMG optimal class. This gun is overall great. Like I said, if you're not going to use an assault rifle, you can use this or the MTAR, kind of both ends of the spectrum there, and that's pretty much all you need in Call of Duty Ghosts. So this gun's very good. My name's Nasty T, and thanks for the view.